We had only lived in the house for 3 weeks, and already it felt older than it looked. The manor was beautiful. 1950s architecture, tall windows, floral wallpaper that still smelled faintly of dust and lavender. Mark said it was perfect for a fresh start. And I believed him. I loved him. That part was real. He kissed my forehead the night we moved in and said, "New house, new memories." I didn't know why, but something in the way he said it lingered, as if we were replacing something, not just beginning. Still, I ignored the feeling, because love makes you ignore things. The house had many rooms, too many for just the two of us. 1 bedroom, 1 guest room, 1 study, and 1 room at the end of the hallway that was always locked. Storage, Mark had said casually. Nothing interesting. I didn't push. I wasn't suspicious. Not then. V. The day it happened, I was cleaning. I climbed onto the small wooden chair to dust our wedding portrait. It was heavy, large, ornate gold frame, the kind of frame that makes a memory feel permanent. My foot slipped. The portrait crashed to the floor. The glass shattered. My heart raced. I knelt down quickly to check the damage. That's when I saw it. Behind where the portrait had hung, the wallpaper was slightly darker. A perfect rectangle, like something had once been there, something smaller. I ran my fingers along the edge, and I felt it. A slight indentation, a seam. There was no handle, no visible door, just a tiny keyhole, hidden inside the floral pattern. My breath slowed. That strange feeling returned. Not fear, recognition. As if my body had seen this before. Mark was away on business. He'd left that morning. "I'll be gone 2 days," he had said. 2 days. Plenty of time. I don't know why I searched his things. Maybe curiosity, maybe instinct, or maybe something deeper, something I couldn't name. His vintage leather briefcase was in the closet. Inside, lining slightly torn. My fingers traced the fabric, and I found it. A small silver key, cold, too cold. The lock clicked softly when I turned it. The hidden door opened inward. The air inside the room was still, frozen, like it had been waiting. It was small. A vanity table with a mirror. A dress hanging on the wall. A delicate floral perfume bottle. Everything feminine. Everything intimate. I stepped inside. The room didn't feel abandoned. It felt paused. On the vanity table sat a stack of letters, neatly tied with ribbon. My hands trembled as I untied them. "To my dearest Mark," the first one began. The handwriting was elegant, soft, intimate. The letters weren't old. They were dated 1 year ago. 1 year. But Mark had told me he had been single for 5 years before we met. I read more. She wrote about how he made her feel safe, how he promised they would start again. Start again. My chest tightened. One letter ended with, "I know this time it will be different. This time." I moved toward the vanity mirror. There was a photograph tucked into the frame. I pulled it out. My breath left my body. The woman in the photo looked like me. Not similar. Not just same hair color. She looked exactly like me. Same eyes. Same smile. Only her hair was shorter, and she had a faint scar near her left temple. I lifted my hand to my own temple. I had a small scar there. From what? I couldn't remember. The front door slammed. My heart stopped. He wasn't supposed to be home. Footsteps echoed down the hallway. Slow, not rushed, calm. I tried to close the hidden door. The key twisted, snapped. It broke inside the lock. The bedroom door opened. Mark stood there. He looked at the shattered wedding portrait. Then at me. Then at the open, hidden door. I expected anger. I expected panic. He didn't show either. He looked relieved, soft, almost gentle. He stepped toward me slowly. "I was wondering when you'd remember." Remember, not find. My mouth went dry. "What are you talking about?" I whispered. He studied my face carefully, like he was searching for something. "For us," he said quietly. He walked past me into the hidden room, touched the vanity gently. "You didn't like the shorter hair," he continued. "You said it didn't feel like you anymore." My head spun. "I'm not Clara," I said firmly. The name felt foreign, but when I said it, a flicker, a flash, a hospital room, white lights, Mark's voice telling me, "Don't worry, we'll start over." I staggered back. "You were tired," he said calmly. "You wanted a new life." I shook my head, but my memories, they felt foggy, soft at the edges, like pages torn from a book. He moved toward the closet in the hidden room, opened it. Inside was a suitcase, packed, neatly arranged. On top of the clothes were passports, 3 of them, different names, same face, mine, years apart, different hairstyles, different signatures. My stomach dropped. "How long?" My voice broke. He smiled gently. "As long as it takes." The house felt too quiet again, not peaceful, expectant, like it had seen this before. I walked to the mirror slowly, stared at my reflection, my scar, my eyes, my face. Who was I before this house? Before him? If you don't remember who you were, does that mean you were never her? Or does it mean you agreed to forget? He smiled gently. "As long as it takes." The words didn't sound threatening. They sounded patient. That scared me more. He stepped closer. Not fast, not aggressive. Careful, like I was fragile. "You always get overwhelmed at this part," he said softly. "It passes." This part, the way he said it, as if we had done this before. He bent down and picked up one of the passports, ran his thumb over my photograph. "You didn't like who you were," he murmured. "You said it felt heavy." I tried to speak, but something inside me was shaking loose. A hospital hallway. Bright lights. My hand in his voice saying, "Trust me, we can start over." The memory wasn't clear. It wasn't whole, but it wasn't empty either. "I never wanted to hurt you," he continued. "I just wanted you to be happy again." Happy again. Again. My knees felt weak. Was this obsession or devotion twisted too far? He reached up slowly and brushed his fingers against the scar near my temple. "You were scared of remembering," he whispered. My breath caught, because for a second, I wasn't sure if he was wrong. The suitcase sat open beside us. Neatly folded clothes. Different names. Different lives. But on top of everything was a photograph. Not the one from the vanity. A different one. We were standing in front of another house. Smaller. Blue shutters. I was smiling. Not forced. Not confused. Peaceful. The photo was dated 3 years ago. 3 years. I don't remember that house. I don't remember that day. But the woman in the photo, she looked safe. Mark followed my gaze. "That was our second start," he said quietly. Second. How many times had we done this? How many versions of me had existed? Or had I asked for this? Had I begged him to erase something I couldn't survive remembering? He stepped back slightly. "I'll give you space," he said. "You always need a moment before it settles." Before it settles. As if my identity was something temporary. He walked out of the hidden room, left me alone. I stood in front of the mirror, stared at my reflection, my scar, my eyes, my face. Who was I protecting? Myself or him? I picked up the photograph again. My fingers traced the version of me smiling at a life I couldn't recall. And suddenly, I felt something break. Not violently, quietly. Because if he was lying, then my marriage was a prison. But if he was telling the truth, then I had chosen this. Chosen to forget. Chosen to reset. Chosen him. The hallway outside was silent. The house didn't feel haunted. It felt practiced, like it knew how this part goes. I heard Mark's voice from the kitchen. Soft. Normal. "I made tea," he called gently, the same way he always does. The same tone that made me fall in love. I looked at myself one last time. And when I walked out of that room, he looked up at me, searching my face, waiting. "Clara?" he asked carefully. The name hung in the air, heavy. I opened my mouth, and for a long second, I almost corrected him. Almost. But the photograph was still in my hand, and the woman in it looked peaceful. So instead, I said nothing. I just sat down across from him. And this time, I didn't argue with the name. "Tell me something. If forgetting keeps the person you love calm, is remembering worth the pain? Comment what you think really happened. Because sometimes tragedy isn't about losing someone. Sometimes it's about losing yourself.